From author Brian K. Morris comes a classic hero in a high-flying, fast-paced, and action-packed steampunk adventure. The original Skyman battles the Master of Steam with an introduction by comics icon and historian Roy Thomas. A Rising Tide, an Ace Comics publication. Available now in print or digital format on Amazon.com.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
Ready!
Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore with your host, Brian K. Morris, independent publisher, freelance hybrid author, award-winning playwright, and former mortician's assistant. Beware. Beware! That might not be a phone jingling in your pocket. Join the Nevermorians for morning mischief and madness at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Your sense of humor is the only thing you need to wear.
And good morning, everyone. Wanted to make sure where we're at. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to the January 27th, 2021 edition of Nevermind the Furthermore with me, Brian K. Morris. Hope you're having a great morning so far. Welcome to the show, whether you're watching live and can interact, or you're watching on the reruns. We appreciate you every bit as much. We do. We really do. I promise. Anyway, thank you for tuning in this morning. And if you're watching us on the Rising Tide Publications channel, please, if you enjoy any part of this video, give this video a like if you would, or love some sort of good reaction. Also, please like the page you're watching on. 2,200 people are digging Rising Tide Publications page on Facebook, and we hope you will become one of them. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube on the Brian K. Morris Rising Tide page, please not only smash that thumbs up, as the kids say, but also be sure to subscribe and share the video and ring that little bell that comes up so that you can be notified of any future appearances. We want to thank Plasma Fire Graphics for sponsoring this episode. Plasma Fire Graphics, when the look of your book matters to you, because it sure as heck matters to your readers. So give them the very best, and that's plasmafiregraphics.com. Also check out their page on Facebook. And we want to give a big shout out to Geek Insider. Thank you for powering this show. And don't forget, folks, this week you need to go to risingtide.pub and sign up for my newsletter. The next issue goes out on the 1st of February, and we're going to have a special video in there just for our patrons. And we got all kinds of cool things planned. Anyway, please check that out. And also want to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters. You see there on the screen, Cindy, Kelly, Brian, Jeffrey, Tina, John, the Eric, and Remillion. And please consider becoming my patron on Patreon. That's www.patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. We posted yesterday a PDF of the original Skyman battles the Master of Steam, which if you are going at the $10 per month level, you can get it. And we're also looking into some other cool things we can do for you, hopefully. And we're going to make that page a place to hang out. Anyway, thank you to the Patreon subscribers. Thank you all very much. And hope you're having a good morning so far. I am. I'm ready. I've got coffee. And looking forward to a good day. Although the weather's going to be pretty crappy here this weekend, here in the central Indiana area. And we hope you all stay safe. I understand Iowa's getting some of that white stuff we don't like talking about here, but hopefully we'll get through this weekend in style and with fun. And let's start the fun right now. Let's get to your comments. Who was first this morning? And it was the Skunk Rocker. Good to see you on YouTube, sir. I kind of hope that Joe Dog gets here before Trevor. Well, we'll see what happens. It's a race now, and there's Teresa Dunn wishing Skunk a good morning. And me, thank you. And Exegy Studios, morning, all morning, Brian. Morning to you, Joe D. McPhee. Looking forward to 10 p.m. this coming Saturday on the Exegy Studios page on YouTube and other places. Joe, put in links to that if you would, please, so people can see our great talk. I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to have a good time. No one has a choice. It will be fun or it's mandatory, okay? Just like the Knack album. But please check us out this coming Saturday. It's going to be a good time. Get to know each other a little better. It'll be a lot of fun. And Christian is here already at 9:43. Arise, Wednesday Morris Monster, arise, arise from the ashes of the Challenger accident, which we will down here honor the memory of those brave souls who were taken from us too soon. I didn't realize it was that anniversary. Thank you for reminding us. Tomorrow will mark the 35th year we lost those heroes who ascended to the heavens to touch the face of God. This event should not be lost in the annals of time. There should be that the cost of any exploration comes at a price. Still, we continue to explore because it's what we do as a species. By the way, I can't wait for Starbucks Mars. Think they'll have a bookstore? They better buy Jingo, I'm telling you. Otherwise, why go, right? Anyway, no, you're right, Christian. We it's in our bloodstream and our DNA to explore, to go where no one has gone before, I guess you could say. And it's kind of exciting that we still have new frontiers to explore, new adventures to have, and to spread our fingerprints all throughout the galaxy. I'm just sorry we won't be around for Warp Drive. I'm sure not to be around for Warp Drive, but the miracles that will happen, things that people are only dreaming of right now. Think of, future generations and what they've got to look forward to. I still subscribe to the Gene Roddenberry future, of optimism, and we're going to be okay. We're going to get through it together. And Exegy Studios mocks me with his laughter, which I understand. And morning, going to be in lurker mode today while I listen under my warm blankets. Oh, Sarah, if you need a little boost under the blankets, we are here to help. And Saturday is going to be fun. Hope you all tune in. I do too. I hope you all follow us. In fact, we've got some good broadcasting coming up here on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, which I tell the others, please keep mentioning that I'm the one that forgets. Oh, do as I say, not as I do. But no, tomorrow night at 8 p.m., we are going to have a special edition of Clever Title Pending. We're going to do a special every month. I thought about doing 2 a week, and I thought, no, that's a little rough on me. Especially since I have other things to do in the evening, mostly my business. So we're going to have like one special a month, and this month our special guest is going to be Meredith Walkren. She is a familiar name to most of you here. She, pardon me, she is the one who basically makes the show look as good as it does. And we're grateful to her for that. But anyway, she just finished up a brand new Kickstarter campaign, or she will have finished by the time the show goes on tomorrow night. It is her first published book, and she's had a very imaginative Kickstarter campaign for it. And tomorrow, pardon me, those of you who are looking at crowdfunding should tune in, because we're going to be talking about stuff. Dealing with crowdfunding. Also, she's a great broadcaster. If you're a fan of Wild One Forever, you got to interrogate her about that and what she does to make that happen. But anyway, tomorrow we've got lunchtime at the Dog House at 12:05 with Joe Dog McKeel. That's always a good time. And then following my show, and we're going to have, it's not going to be a full 2 hours because Meredith has other duties and responsibilities. But at 9 p.m. on the Rising Tide Network, Joe comes back with Stupid O'Clock with the Skunk Rocker, Dan, John, and a whole bunch of really cool people. So please tune in. It's a great conversation show. You will love it. You really will. And then on Friday, Nevermind the Furthermore happens at the usual time at 10 a.m. in the morning, 9 Central. And then 11 p.m. on Saturday on the network, we've got Stupid O'Clock again at 11 p.m., 10 Central. And at 10 p.m. Eastern, just before that, I will be on the Exegy Studios channel on YouTube. Please look it up. And please bookmark it. Please subscribe and ring the bell for it too, because he's got a weekly interview show and it's terrific. It really is. Joe is a really great creator. He's a fantastic artist and he's a good interrogator too. And also next Tuesday, somebody who doesn't pop in here too often because he's busy. He is crazy busy, but man, this guy is coordinating not only a comic book career, but he's also got regular broadcasting that he does, great interview show, and also he's just finishing up a Kickstarter to fund his broadcasting. So please tune in to Clever Tile Petting next Tuesday at 8 p.m. We're going to have the most epic one himself, Michael Watson. You're going to dig him. You'll love him. He is a great, great guy. And I think you'll really enjoy hearing what he's got to say. And also thank you to Lacey Lemke last night for an incredible Clever Tile Petting. If you did not watch that show, you really need to, because it was a lot of fun. And Lacey's a wonderful lady, and I think you're going to be inspired by her moxie. She didn't take the pandemic lying down, and even with health issues, she's managed to get through the My Sharona Miley Cyrus Peter pandemic with style. All right, so please check out last night's show. All right, and looking forward to talking to you too in front of a camera for a change. Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, Joe. That is going to be a great, great time. And Christian's flirting with Sarah, as are we all. And she's flirting back. My altar boy under my blankets. I go ready to listen to the show. Just imagining. Anyway, and Sarah's like, oh, God. Anyway, Gospel Jake, there you go. Hi, Brian. Hey, Nevermorians. Hope you're doing well this morning, Jake. Hope all is well. And yes, and Teresa Dunn remembers the Challenger accident. I remember I was at work. We didn't have a TV on there, but I was listening to the radio, and I thought for a second they were flashing back to the Hindenburg. It was horrific. It was terrifying, and we hadn't had an accident, a fatal accident, really, in the space program in quite a number of years before that. The last one I can remember before that was Apollo 1, where 3 of the astronauts, the rocket never left the launch pad, but it burned up there. And that was a sad day for the space program. But yeah, that's one of those remember where you were moments, like 9/11 or the assassination of John Kennedy. And anyway, Sarah's mocking us with her warmth. Anyway, time to snuggle in like a burrito. And Teresa's snuggling next to her hubby. Oh, hello, Albert. Go for it. And snowing here again and more on the way this weekend. Teresa, I told you that's enough out of you. You keep that crap over there. And Carlene, glad to see you, hon. Hope you're having a great morning. Good morning to you, Carl Witzman. As always, thank you both for being on the show. And maybe Skunk, says Joe Dog. Good to see you. Looking forward to lunchtime at the Doghouse tomorrow at 12:05 on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And Carl Westman says, I remember being homesick on the day of the Challenger explosion. Being sick was the only reason I would normally watch television during the day. Yeah, like I said, I was listening to, I didn't remember the station. It was WDWS out of Champaign, Illinois. And excuse me, and we were settling in to listen to the afternoon show. There was a guy there, I can't remember the guy's name, but my boss and I really liked his show because he played a little bit of music, had a little bit of talk, and then CBS Network broke in with the news of that, and that takes your breath away. It really does. And Christian is right. It's good to remember that. We need to remember those whose sacrifice who've got us to where we are in exploring our universe. My hubby was in the hospital having surgery to remove kidney stones that were blocking his tube. Well, Teresa, I'm glad he's out. That would be a long time. And Carl goes, ouch, shudders at the mention of kidney stones. Yeah, my uncle had them. back in the 70s, my Uncle Bill, and he told me that it was as bad a pain as pretty much birth without an epidural. And as Christian Basil, shall I join in the sacred blankets of fun? Oh, he's getting ready for the punishments of the dark mistress of the dark church of the rising tide, and I want pictures. And Teresa, I don't know, we seem to have forgotten down here, and we're the place it took place in. Yeah, well, then again, Christian, there's some of us who are, a bit older. And, today, last couple generations have grown up without a space program. I mean, one of the cool things about growing up when I did was I remember Sputnik. I remember the Apollo missions, the Mercury missions with John Glenn. I remember when John Glenn was orbiting the Earth, our teacher, I think I was in first grade at the time, first or second grade. And we were in a rather large schoolhouse. We had a small school system. There were more people in my wife's senior graduating class than were in my entire high school. Okay, give you an idea. But it was a two-story schoolhouse, and each floor had one room where they had a television in there for special events. And we were all crowded in first, second, and third grade to watch John Glenn. And I've been reading comic books, and it never dawned on me that we weren't in space yet, because Superman went there all the time. The Fantastic Four had already been there. It's like, what do you mean we're just getting up there now? I've got evidence we've been there before. But anyway, Ted Davies Artistry joins us. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. And Ted brings that special coffee of his that's sponsoring his show. Check it out. It sounds good. And there's the birthday girl. Morning, everyone. I brought cake. Oh, Michaela Jade. Everyone, please wish Michaela a happy, happy birthday. All right. Today is her, I think, 22nd birthday, something like that. Anyway, Michaela, I'll lift the Rising Tide Publications cup to you and hope you have a sensational, sensational birthday. And may there be many, many more. And Clyde Hall, good to see you, buddy. Good morning, fellow Nevermorians. Wonder Wednesday is underway. Yes, let us not wonder. Let us seize control of this day and make it awesome. And speaking of awesome, there's Jeffrey Hayes. Good morning. Good Wednesday morning, Nevermorians. Great interview with Lacey last night on Clever Title Pending. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, Jeffrey. And look forward to next week and your interview with Meredith. Actually, it's going to be tomorrow night. Next week will be Michael Watson, and his hashtag is most epic. And he's an amazing artist. He really is. But he's got like a regular shows. He does a great interview show where he interviews creators and draws their character while they're being asked questions. He's a great guy. And I'm looking forward to picking his brain. And speaking of picking his brain, Igor picked the best one here, and it's Brian Rodman. It's good to see you. Good morning, my fellow Brian and Nevermorians. Let us hump the humps of a humpity hump week and tickle the tootsies of destiny as we proudly proclaim, we came, we saw, we kicked its ass. Let's do this, and let's do it at plasmafiregraphics.com when the look of your book matters to you, which is a good excuse to run his spot. And if you like about 75% of the spots that we run during and after the show are from Plasma Fire Graphics, just like this. You want a slick promotion? Here it is. And that's plasmafiregraphics.com. They also have a page on Facebook. Do not ignore them. If the look of your book matters to you, it should. That means you're doing it right, because it's going to matter to your readers, because that's the first thing they see in a lot of cases. And you want something that'll draw them in. And you saw some of the great examples that Plasma Fire Graphics showed you there. Excuse me, Jeffrey, I think I need a card for that. Maybe that last frame there, if you could show off some of the book covers you do. But anyway, he also does things like promotional material. He does he's done our book trailers, and they're gorgeous. and the envy of all that survey them, and let him do that kind of work for you at very reasonable prices. You will love it. And Terry McIver's here. Good to have you, sir. And good morning, Nevermorians. Hope you all have a pleasant day. And what better way to start that off than with Brian K. Morris? I think snuggling under that blanket with Sarah might be a very, very close second. Who am I kidding? I am like a distant 23rd. Anyway, glad to have you here, Terry, and I hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Jerome Connor, always a pleasure. Check out last Friday's Nevermind the Furthermore, where we just said screw it to the comments. It's just Jerome and I having our bromance. Anyway, good morning. Was outside playing with Gwen in the S word, about to head back to bed. I don't blame you. Yeah, it's like I don't like that thing. I don't like that white stuff that falls from the heavens and melts and everything. I like it when it melts. I do like it. Actually, it's pretty when there's only about an inch of it. Excuse me, but we're looking at some this weekend here, and I don't remember I don't think they said how much we're supposed to get yet. Let's see. Let's go forward 2 days. I'm looking at forecast.weather.gov, which is it's the National Weather Service, so you'd think they would know. They're saying that this weekend we are definitely going to get snow and rain. But they are not. At least the hourly isn't saying anything. Or at least the 7. But we're going to the 7-day forecast. It's currently 27 degrees Fahrenheit here. Ick. And let's see what kind of. They are not saying how much snow we are going to get, but it does look serious. But fortunately, on Sunday it will end on Sunday, and the temperature will get way above freezing. It'll be 36 on Sunday here, and hopefully you guys and gals have a good weekend too. And Jason Snyder of NonCon, good to see you, guy. Hope you're having a great day. Looking forward to NonCon. That's happening September 24th, 5th, and 20. Let's see, 26. Let me look. 24th, 25th, and 26th. Yeah, and we will get the contact data. But anyway, excuse me. But anyway, they just put up their NonCon page. It's NonCon 6. It's a very, very wonderful paranormal convention. Very laid back, free admission to the public, and it is definitely haunted. I will vouch for that. We had all kinds of stuff happening. Anyway, it's good to have you here, Jason, as always. And thanks for the coffee, Ted, and the cake, Michaela. And Brian Wenzoff, good to see you, buddy. Good morning. So this Saturday on Reels and Heels, we'll be discussing the streaming wars. We'll go from where it started, where it is, and where it's going. We'll have Jerome Connor, so you know it's a good show. And from Unrelated at Birth, Dave Adams joining us. That sounds exciting. That's going to be good. Yeah, I'm seeing, we've had a proliferation of, streaming services pop up in the last 3 or 4 years. And I'm starting to see an implosion already. Not implosion, but so much. But I noticed that Paramount was rebranding. We lost DC, the DC streaming service. That's become part of the overall Warner's umbrella. I think HBO Max. I think it is. I think we're going to see a consolidation of these streaming services. But one thing that's been pointed out by a number of pundits that I'm following is that if you were to subscribe to everything is for the original content they're providing, it's now costing almost as much as a cable subscription or satellite. And I'm already seeing experts saying that within the next 5 years, we're going to be losing the local cable systems, and we're going to be losing what was it? Like satellite services. So if you have like Dish TV or Direct TV, it's probably going to go the way of the dinosaur. Not to be confused with the pornography about the dinosaur, which lives on. So anyway, we're going to see, entertainment. How we get our entertainment is changing now. And also keep an eye on the sports leagues. For instance, WWE has announced they're switching all their stuff to one streaming service. And what else was it? And I don't remember the names. I'm blanking on the names, but Philip DeFranco had something on a day or two ago talking about how the keep an eye on the sports. oh yes, DirecTV was announced a few days ago that they would not be renewing their sports package for the upcoming season, which is major because that's a huge part of their income. Okay, so yeah, we're going to see some changes coming up soon. We're the day of the getting our entertainment the classic way is coming to an end. And there's the birthday girl. What flavor cakes is Carly? Carly, free. That's what the flavor is. And this is the third time I've said, but happy birthday, Michaela. And there we go. And let's see. And moving on. Jerome Connor says Saturday morning cartoons will be discussing some of the anime shows you watched on Saturday morning. Only a 1990s and 2000 Saturday at 9 a.m. on the Hanging with Web show television YouTube channel. Definitely check it out. Check out the show on Hanging with Web show television network. They have some great stuff like Reels and Heels on Saturday at 2:15. Also, yes, Brian. Also, be sure you tell people when and where to find you when you're promoting. But yeah, and check out the Hang with Web show. I'm proud to talk about those guys. They have a great operation. And marble cake with vanilla buttercream icing, sugar high. Oh God, yes. Oh dear God, I'm having more than just a diabetic reaction over here. That sounds great. And spank that bell. Yeah. Turn it over your knee, pull its trousers down, and spank that bell for all you're worth. And it'll give you $20. Anyway, Carl Winston says, Michaela Jade, it's okay. I will take it as my spanking, so I made my birthday greetings as you want to give. Oh, darling, the door is open. And Jason Snyder says he saw the Challenger disaster in person. Oh, man. I can only imagine what it was like. And oh, man, the emotion that must have been running through you guys. I cannot even imagine seeing that in person. It was bad enough hearing about it on the radio, then going home after work and watching it replay over and over on the network news. Oh, man. Oh, I feel for you, man. I really do, Jason. And Brian Rahman says the Dastardly Dingoes podcast is back. The first episode of season 3 dropped this morning, where we interview the fantastic J.D. Calderon as we dive into his amazing fantasy series, The Oswald Chronicles, and hear his story about how he entered into the crazy world of comics. Head on over to that bit.ly address there for the Dastardly Dingoes podcast and check it out. Give it a like and subscribe for all the shenanigans. It has its daily the USDA approved level of shenanigans daily. It's all part of a balanced breakfast. And Carly, ooh, lots of icing. Yes, I love buttercream, good buttercream, and I love lots of icing. I really do. And I'm going to the doctor tomorrow, so I'm like, why am I thinking of all these terrible things for me? Anyway, speaking of spreading my fingerprints, hello, Michaela Jade. And later, bring me pie. She's offering cake. You don't get pie. Not that one, at least. And there we go. Sorry, rather Thursday. I'm not sorry it's Thursday. Jeffrey, I'm looking forward to you being there. And we are going to have a great conversation with Meredith Lawgren at 8 o'clock tomorrow night on a special edition of Clever Title Pending. And we have lined up our guests for February. The month of February, and we've got some good people coming on. I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I've actually got one more person I want to reach out to, but otherwise we've got the month booked. It's going to be fun. Michaela Jade says, hello, Christian, and nope, no pie, just cake, and buy me later. Meredith's got duty. He said duty. And Carl Wisman says Lacey was great on last night's show. She really was. And it's, we were talking about on the after show that it's kind of funny how, she actually hasn't done many interviews. And I think she came off so incredibly well. I was incredibly proud of her. I'm constantly proud of her. She has come a long, long way in the brief time that I've known her. And, she was kidding. She mentioned last night that she met Kadrolsha Ona Carol, the queen of the paranormal, through me. The three of us had lunch together at the last SilCon we were at. And, all the people she got to meet. And that's one reason to do this journey thing, that we we get to meet some cool people, many of whom are each other. So that was a fun moment hearing that. And good morning, Brian and Nevermorians. Bill Sarton, good to see you. What is the blessing that you are most thankful for this week? Mine is always the same. My faith that God takes care of all the others. There we go. That's a good one. Thing I'm most thankful for. A great life. A seriously great life. And there she is, Willow Schuyler. A quick peek to say hi, making sure everyone here is doing okay today. Darling, we will as long as you are first. Mwah, good to see you here. And what is it? I heard that Montreal's, I know you're not in Montreal, but Montreal has been, the last week or so, on top of the other COVID regulations that we all are supposed to follow, like distancing and masks and such, that they had a nighttime curfew from like 9 until 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. every night. And the only people that could go out were essential services and people walking their dogs. In fact, they arrested one woman for walking her cat. They were only allowing dogs. And one wife was walking her husband, and suddenly Michaela and Christian are dying. Yes, it was that. But unfortunately, also they limited. They would allow drugstores to be open, but they only allowed them to sell what they called essential items, like over-the-counter drugs, things like that, picking up prescriptions. And a homeless, the person I was following, Viva Fry, on FREI on YouTube, he talked about how he saw a homeless man come in. He had scrounged up enough money for a pair of new socks, and the lady behind the counter could not sell them to him under penalty of law. And in fact, there was, and they also made that the homeless shelters had to kick out their patrons before the curfew, and one man had nowhere else to go, and he froze to death in a porta potty. So it's been pretty bad. Lawsuits have been launched, and it sounds like the Montreal government the Quebec government has relented on that. So anyway, we're going to get through it, people. It's just going to be difficult. And hashtag bring cookie home. Thank you, Bill Sarton. That's what we're looking at. That was exactly what we're doing here. And morning all from the Eric Hawkins. Eric, good to see you, sir. Hope you're having a great morning. And Willow's going, morning, Eric. And Bill Sarton goes, happy birthday to author Michaela Jade. Yes, definitely wish Michaela a happiest of happy birthdays. And hey, Willow, I hope that you don't have to go outside today. Brr, yeah, Carl. And I and Carly we're not looking at even getting up to freezing today. I can only imagine what it's like for you up there. And Jerome Connor, Apollo 1st. Thank you. February 21st, 1967. Yeah, I was 11 years old when that happened. But yeah, that I was verklempt when I heard about that. That was an awful thing. So, but we made it to the moon. And Lou Motion, good to see you. Thank you for the like, brother. Also, happy birthday to author Michaela Jade, who was on the board at QA radio station when the Challenger. And you were on board at the radio station when the Challenger exploded. Oh man, I can imagine having to report that sort of thing, man. I can still remember, like the CBS News crew getting choked up on that thing. And speaking of likes, we want to thank everyone that's liked the show so far on Facebook. Joe Bachman, Ellie Mack, Roger Caldwell, good to see you, guy. Cameron Christopher Payne, Carl Wisman, Lou Motion, Varian Grant, always a pleasure to see you, sir. And Bill Sarton, don't forget tomorrow, Varian on the Indie Volt Radio is going to have his weekly Thursday morning coffee show with Randy Zimmerman. That's always a good time. If I weren't going to be at the doctor tomorrow at that time, I would join you. And Rick Bradley, Terry McIver, Tyrone Tony Reed Jr., TyroneTonyReedJr.com. Check out his solo series. Yasmin Muhammad, Brian Wesloff, Clyde Hall, and Brian Rodman, thank you for your love there. We do appreciate that. That helps a lot. And Scott Crocker says, now all this talk about space travels remind me of a movie that I got to see over the weekend. If you've never seen a movie called The Dish, I implore you to please look it up. And okay, here we go. And it is a dramatization of an Australian radio telescope in a sheep field being used to transmit video for broadcast from Apollo 11, which is true. That really did happen. I remember reading about that. And the dramatization adds drama, for lack of a better term, and comedy, as the Australians have to deal with a straight-laced NASA suit who is there to make sure everything goes right when it all goes wrong. Well, yeah. Well, yeah, it kind of reminds me that Joe Dog was telling me that the like the SpaceX stuff, they've been able to cut a few cost corners by I guess Elon Musk asked NASA, said, well, how many redundancy systems do you have for most of your procedures? And they said 5. And he goes, well, how often had you had to use like number 5? And they said never. Goes, well, how many times have you used number 4? They said never. Goes, how many times have you used number 3? And they said once. And Elon said, fine, I'm just putting in 3 redundancies in mine. We'll roll the dice. And but no, that's why I find the space race so fascinating. And the neat thing is, I don't know what it would be now, but I remember when the Apollo missions were going on, NASA released a figure, said that for every $1 that we invested in NASA, we got back 6 in technology, a lot of which we're using now. Our cell phones, our communications, our computing, none of that would have been possible without a lot of the stuff that NASA did. So let's not be poo-pooing what they do. And Joe Dog McKeel says, I am here, not good, new on plumbing. Yeah, I saw your post yesterday. Oh, man. That's... can you contact the city and get them to roto-rooter that part out? I know our city does that regularly. They kind of drill out the storm sewers and all, and had surgery for the stones twice. Ooh, yeah. I've had some friends say they would rather have the surgery than that vibrator. Don't get excited, Michaela. That vibrator that, it basically is like 100 little hammers all at once, and it basically beats the hell out of your kidney stone and you, because you're the person carrying it around. So I've heard varying reports on that. And the Emotion says, getting over or dealing with acid reflux painful. Oh, dude, I had a little last week, man. I feel your pain. I mean that literally. I hope you get better, Lou. The world needs you. And I have kidney stones now, says Carl Witzman. I'm sorry. It's like knowing that someone behind you has a knife, but never knowing when they're going to stab you, but they will. Just think of yourself as Julius Caesar. You get all the good last lines. And Joe Dog McHale, tomorrow lunchtime will be scrubbed also. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'll stop promoting it then. But anyway, tune in next week for lunchtime at the doghouse. And oh, Carl, it's only minus 17 Fahrenheit out at where Willow Schuyler is, apparently on the surface of Mars. I have no choice but to go to work, and after I need a new shower head. Well, everyone's looking for a little shower. And so anyway, please be safe, Willow. Check in often so we know you're still alive. Of course, it could be one of those things where, like Carl and I are having like upper 20s Fahrenheit here, and somebody like Willow would probably show up in shorts and a tank top, which I'm liking the image already. But, she'd be like, what are you guys complaining about? Why are you two shivering? Because we're wusses, that's why. Anyway, and Carl Witzman says, thanks, Skunk. I might look up the dish. And Carlene says, I did a report in grade school on the first dog in space. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Even in the early days of the space program, there is a legend, I should say, of a Russian spacecraft that tried to get a man up in space, and before the ones that made it up there, like John Glenn and all, and Scott Carpenter and everything, and they allegedly hi honey, good morning to you. That's my honey in the studio next door. But anyway, it allegedly burned up on reentry, and some people say they've got the radio broadcasts from it as the man's in the capsule coming through the atmosphere, burning up with friction, rather. It could be fiction, but the Russians were real big on not letting you know when they goofed back then. Pravda was not that. Pravda means truth in Russian, and there wasn't a lot of truth in Pravda at the time. So they didn't report this, and allegedly there were some human deaths involved in the early space program, but you'll never get Russia to confess to it. In fact, they kind of edited those people out. And good morning to Rick Bradley. Good to have you here as we celebrate Michaela Jade's birthday and the anniversary of the Challenger explosion. But you are exploding in your career, Rick Bradley, and that's always something to celebrate. And Carl Whitson says, "Oh, sorry, Joe Dog. Hopefully things calm down for your lunch show soon." Seriously, that's a good show. I love that show, actually. So anyway, and happy birthday, Michaela from Lou Motion, a very talented writer. And check out stuff from Warrant Publishing. Let's see, like Creeps Magazine, which I happen to have an issue here because I read it. I've been meaning to go back and reread all my Creeps magazines, but it's a really good horror comic. Comes out every other month, and plus they've got a new spin-off. Was it Countess Vampirilla or whatever? But anyway, it's really good. They do really good work. And good morning to Trevor Hawkins, the Trevor. Hope you're having a great morning, my friend. And Brian Westlaw says, happy birthday, author of Michaela Jade. Happy hashtag birthday shenanigans. And happy birthday, Michaela. It's all in all caps from Willow Skylar, so you know she means it. And see Christian for your birthday bumps. Yeah. And speaking of numbs, I got to get back to work. See you folks at lunch. Willow, mwah. Thank you for promoting us again this morning. As always, I hope I never forget to thank you for that. We really appreciate it here at the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And hoping we can bring a spare pair of eyeballs to the Hanging with Webb show network too. And looks like Tommy Hancock in the first P.I. Illo. Could be. Well, he has done work for Tommy, and Plasma Fire Graphics is doing a series of things for Tommy right now. So, and bumps. Wow, stop correcting. Hates my typing, says Willow Skylar. Well, if your fingers weren't so numb, you might be able to do it better, right? Anyway, shut up, Christian. And Rick Bradley says, so there's this really cool Amazon page for this author guy at R. Bradley. You kidding me? You can check out the 4 books I was published in last year: The Nightmare Collective, Marvin's Night Out, Tales of the Weird and Strange, and Pulp Reality #1. I have a complete set of your works then. I feel proud. That's great. And let's see. We just had another comment dump here. Oh, dear God. We'll get back to it. And we're probably going to have to skip some. We've already been skipping a few comments. We will skip a few more to try to catch up. We are shamefully behind. And prepare yourself for the very intense next installment of Memoirs of an Angel, a horror fantasy comic book series about a ragtag group of infinite and finite beings who race through time and space to rescue a broken witch hunter from the clutches of the Dark Kingdom. It's Lord of the Rings meets The Exorcist. Issue 7 is coming up and is launching on Kickstarter on February 26th, not 1921. He's getting ahead of us. 2021. Head on over to brianrodman.com and catch up. Also, check out his Patreon page. He's been showing some preliminary art on that. Brian Rodman, I am so excited by that. And we're going to have Brian Rodman on Clever Tile Pending to talk about it. Grant Lackert says, sorry I'm late. I was making breakfast. Well, that was good. That was good of you, Grant. I hope you're having a great morning, you and your missus. And Willow is being thanked by Michaela Jade and Grant Lackert. I wanted to get on here because my friend James' Kickstarter is only $250 away from funding with 24 hours to go. It's called Omni on Kickstarter. Please give us a link if you would, Grant. That'll make things easier. And Amy Hale with her amazing new COVID mask. Good morning. Mwah. Amy, you were fantastic on TED Talks yesterday, on Ted Davies Artistry. Check him out on Facebook, also on YouTube, and teddaviesartistry.com. It was a great interview. Had a lot of fun watching that. And Rick Bradley, and if you want to grab a copy of my self-published work, Marvin's Night Out, you can go to that place there, and physical copies are available. And Skunk Rocker says, Brian, that's actually already begun with the streaming services. WWE Network is now an exclusive part of NBC's Peacock streaming device. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of, Skunk. Thank you. But yeah, we're already starting to see that explosion. DirecTV has announced that they are no longer picking up the huge, and Michaela and Sarah will like this, the huge sports package. And I'm waiting, actually. I know what really cracked the industry in half. What if the NBA decided to have their own channel? What if the baseball decided to have their channel? You think somebody wouldn't dig having their sport all year round, 24/7. I'm serious. And I don't want to get into James' story again, says Grant Lankard, but he had major health problems a couple days before his Kickstarter was in. That's bad. I hope James gets better fast. But please put in a link, if you would, please, Grant, to that Kickstarter. Make it easy for everyone. And Scott Crocker, at least the merger is happening. I don't know exactly if it's already happened or not. I don't have WWE Network. I'm not giving Vince McMahon my money. Amen. I'm with you on that. Skunk, I haven't followed professional wrestling seriously since 2004. And I remember that it was a Monday night Raw, and they were just getting into that extreme wrestling with ladders and tables being used as part of the show. And I don't remember who was wrestling, but I do remember it was Jerry the King Lawler was announcing, and somebody threw in a box of kitchen items. Okay, just tossed it into the ring for gits and shiggles. And I remember the line that made me give up on professional wrestling, to following it at least. I still love the old stuff. But Jerry exclaimed, "Oh my God, is that a cheese grater?" And I'm like, I'm out of here. This has gone too far. They hit my button. I said enough. So I haven't really followed it. I know people in it. If you tell me if you say John Cena, I know who that is. If you tell me, like Lita, I know who Lita is. Or Triple H, that was from before. But I also saw like some of the storylines getting perverse, if anything, on the WWE. And I thought, I'm so out of this. I don't even want to hear about it anymore. So anyway, on to more fun things like BrianRodman.com. Folks, if you like what you see here, head on over to patreon.com/Brian K. Morris. Thank you. And give your life savings to the BKM. Well, thank you. Just half your life savings will do. Trust me, it's in good hands. Tip your host just the tip. That's right. Don't give me the whole shaft. But anyway, Brian Rodman, thank you. Also, check out Brian Rodman on Patreon. He has been posting some really cool things, and a lot of your friends are on there. Cindy Kep, CKOEPP.com, for that great newsletter, which I read a couple days ago, and I loved it as always. But also Brian Rodman is on Patreon. Many of the John B. Pica is on there under the Impossibilists. The Eric Hawkins has a page. Kara Nicole, who you saw on Clever Tile Pinning about 3 weeks ago. A lot of people are on Patreon. Please support them. It's a great way to do it. And in my case, like I've said, for my page, $1 a month, just a $1 subscription every month, you get mentioned in everything we do, whether it's a broadcast or it's one of our publications, book or comic. You'll get your name mentioned prominently. And also for $5, people are actually any of the levels. You'll see most of my exclusive blogs. Some will be for $5 and up. The really good stuff. Like yesterday, I posted for the $10 a month people. I'm putting up PDFs of our work. And yesterday we put up a PDF of the original Skyman Battles the Masters theme. So if you want to read that book, please sign up for my Patreon page if you would. And we are looking into some exclusive merchandising for that page too that you can't get anywhere else. It's going to be a lot of fun. It always is. I love the more intimate contact with my supporters and my family of friends. So anyway, Rick Bradley says, yeah, the DC shows have all gone to HBO Max. I'm okay with that since there are a bunch of other good things on that app. Looney Tunes definitely won me over. Yeah, I'd be watching for probably the new Animaniacs and the DC stuff, of course. That sounds like fun. But then again, I get a lot of work done because I don't watch that much TV. And Scott Crocker, oh, okay, never mind, Brian. You already knew how. Now I knew you were a smart muffin. Well, I try. It's just that when I do this show, sometimes I get frantic, I get excited, I get the adrenaline going, and I get this like aphasia where I blank out on names. It happens when I get tired, or I just get so, narrow focused into what I'm doing here. So I'm catching up with you, Skunk. I'm trying to stay hip and relevant like you. And Michaela J says, we just made the switch. We had satellite TV and we watched like 4 freaking channels. Yeah, that was our case too. It makes no sense to pay $200 a month for that. Now we watch YouTube and Netflix when we bother to watch. Yeah, I follow about a dozen different channels religiously on YouTube, which takes up too much time. Mostly legal stuff. I love binging with Babish and Hot Ones. Also, like when my friends are on, I try to catch them on YouTube to help their numbers. YouTube gives me about everything I want. And right now I'm getting into the scam baiters. These are the people that, claim they're from Microsoft and you've got a virus, you ever get those pages where you can't get out of them and it says you've just been infected with the virus, call this number. And a lot of these guys are very creative and very fun. There's one called IRL Rosie. She's a musician, but she's got a great speaking voice and she can imitate Alexa. Joe Dog McKeel, she could call you and make you think it was your Kindle. And she does a wonderful job of bedeviling people. Like, she works with other people, other scam baiters, and somebody will be on pretending to be their grandmother and goes, well, I don't know, I just seem to, I've lost all my dino porn on here, and then she'll come on as Alexa, going, look, doing a search for dino porn, sort of things, and bedeviling the people on the other end. And I like that stuff. And I also like the legal channels too. But yeah, and the thing is, you get no choice. It's like you buy those bundles of shows, and they're also, for someone like me who doesn't follow professional sports, I don't care how many damn ESPN shows you put on. I would almost consider going to one if they would give me the choice of what I wanted on it. And like, let's say you get like local channels and 10 regular channels for X amount of money. Fine. I might pick a couple news channels, definitely like BBC America, a couple other things. And then for another level, you get more, but you get to choose what you get. There was one cable station in Rantoul, Illinois that was doing that. They had 2 cable places up there at one point in the 70s, early 80s. And one of them allowed you to pick and choose what you wanted. And unfortunately, they went out of business. But anyway, YouTube is my go-to now. Christian Basil, Willow play with my birthday humps. What? Just go back to sleep under the comfy thing with Sarah. And or we put Brian on the big screen. I love it. I love you, Michaela. There we go. I gotta configure my laptop so I can do that. And Brian Rahman says, Cindy Kep is riding on the edge, folks, in a world of remakes and sequels. Explore some original ideas like Animal Eye. Dash on over to CKOEPP.com and see what all the fuss is about. Yeah, she is a great writer. She really is. And if you aren't convinced, people, he said, making his way over there, check out the work of Cindy Kep, CKOEPP.com. Sign up for a great
author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars, The Loudest Actions, Lines of Succession, Mindstorm, Condemned Courier, the Yerushalayim series, and Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Kep at CKOEPP.com today.
Definitely check out the work of Cindy Kep. She's a great writer, and she's currently doing Animal Eye. It's already a novel, one worth reading, but she's also working on the graphic novel adaptation of it. I'm so proud of her, and it looks, ooh la la, it looks good. So check out CKOEPP.com today, please. And Gospel Illusionist Jake says, I'm going to do something really crazy. I'm going to memorize all the chapters of the Bible in 1 year. Good luck with that, dude. Seriously, that's a lot of book there. And Rick Bradley says, I remember watching the launch in elementary school. We were all confused for a moment, and when the realization hit, there were tears and exasperated teachers trying to keep up. Oh, yeah, seriously. Yeah. It was rough on all of us, and I was a grown-up then. And I was having trouble processing it too. It was quite a tragedy. And John B. Pica, good to see you, citizen. OMG, I'm 30 minutes late. I was listening to my own show on Spotify. Well, at least you were listening to something you like, right? Anyway, John B. Pica, johnpica.com. Check out all this stuff does, and check him out at Impossibilists on Patreon. And Exigy Studios, is buttercream truly a bad thing for you in moderation? Just a thought. All things in moderation, Joe. But the more the merrier, I say. And if you're going to clog your arteries with cholesterol, that's the way to go, I think. Ryan Robin says, you want your coffee to taste better? Head on over to risingtide.pub and grab your Rising Tide mug. I'm grabbing mine right now. Join the cool kids and make your life complete. Sit as he sips from the Rising Tide mug and is blissfully taken away to a land of euphoria. It works. Anyway, thank you, Brian. And is that J.W. Sims? Asks Carl Witzman. And yeah, the WWE Network says Brian Wentzloff is shutting down and moving to Peacock TV. NBCU, which was said to be a $1 billion transaction for the next 5 years, $5 a month, limited ads, gets you everything. Peacock offers plus WWE or $10 for no ads. It's actually a win-win situation for both parties. Yeah, seriously. This way, all the overhead is now on NBCU, so I get that. And wrestling is kind of a niche thing. I'm thinking something like National Basketball Association can get away with having their own channel. But anyway, and Brian K. Morris is confirmed. It is confirmed I will be attending NonCon as a guest. So yay, good to see you, John. I will look forward to seeing you there. Don't be sick this time, okay? You worried me. Anyway, looking forward to having you there, John. The band is back together. We're trying to get Carleen and Carl Witzman over there. We are going to party. And Joe Bachman, good morning, Nevermorians. Finally get to take a break from iOS coding as I just submitted my last update for my apps. Now time to start learning Android coding. Joe, you are a paragon of accomplishment, brother. I am proud of you. That is great, man. That is seriously cool. Joe just released on Apple, I believe it is, a couple of programs more dealing with the road construction industry, and they sounded like something that I know the water industry could use something like that too. Good work, Joe. And OMG, I just realized it's my birthday and it's hump day. Maybe I'll get lucky. Well, Christians, around, and I'm only 3 hours away, Michaela Jade. I could give you your own birthday present. And John B. Pica, COVID curfews because COVID is more deadly after 8 p.m. OMG. Well, that's the thing, John. In Quebec, the guys in charge basically said, well, we're doing this to curb COVID, although they acknowledge that there is no scientific evidence saying that curfews work. He mostly was trying to get the bars and the restaurants closed, because those can be spreaders. And, he just went about in this very draconian way. And he's, I think they've got something like 2 or 3 lawsuits that are being decided in the court. And a judge yesterday, I think it was, or the day before, up there said basically, let's cut this is crazy. This is genuinely unconstitutional. And so we're just drop it, government. And so they are going to relent on the curfew, I understand. And good morning to the Facebook Nevermorians. Good morning back at you, Joe. Glad to see you on both platforms there. Clyde Hall has shameless promotion. That is the best kind, Clyde. We encourage it. This week, Clyde Hall's audio drama script, Worlds Apart from a Tar Paper Shack, took first place in 2021's Tierney's Tales of Terror audio drama competition. Yay! It'll be produced and distributed to multiple prominent audio drama sites. Good on you, Clyde. Way to go. Dude, I told you, you are crazy talented. You've got this. You've got this, man. That's great. I'm so proud of you. And Ellie Mack, what a mess. Hey, it's my show, Ellie. What can I do? Okay, I'm responsible for it. Ellie, mwah, good to see you, darling. Hope you're having a great, great morning. And Florida doesn't sound so bad after all. Yeah, it's cold, but it's going to get warmer in a day or two. And Trevor Hawkins wishes Michaela a happy birthday and brings the little emojis there to prove it. And Bill Field, my ombudsman, good to see you, sir. Good morning. It's getting up to 68 here in SATX today. Well, I hope it's a code for hell, because us Northerners don't need to hear that, Bill. Anyway, Bill, we love you, and I hope it gets too hot down there. Anyway, Exegy Studios says, "What are you doing on your personal national holiday today, Michaela?" Yeah, I mean, does it mean I don't go outside and look for the male? Or the female. And Brian Rodman says, whenever anyone mentions a curfew, my mind immediately goes to V for Vendetta. Maybe if we handed out those masks, people would actually wear them. Now that's an idea. Honestly, I would so do that. I would wear my V mask. And Ellie Mack says, happy birthday, author Michaela Jade. Ellie, we are glad you're here and we share your sentiments. Happy birthday to Michaela. And I'm hanging at home making cupcakes, and I have 2 separate online book parties going. Good on you. And Brian on Indie Vote is always a good time. Exegy Studios, you too, brother. I see you on there every now and then. And always have a blast hanging out with Randy Zimmerman on the comics show. On Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. Remember, Indie Volt owns the 9s. And in fact, I need to refill my cup of coffee. So here's a little word from our friends at indievolt.com.
Now, every Sunday morning, longtime independent comics creator and Indie Volt podcaster Randy Zimmerman hosts a discussion on the lighter side of comics, the more whimsical and fun comics out there, on the Sunday Funnies. That's 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday on Indie Volt, indievolt.com, the Indie Volt YouTube channel, and the usual Indie Volt sites on Facebook. Listen in, won't you? Participate in the chat. Let's have some fun. See you there.
Sunday Funny, Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. And check that out on indievolt.com, also on their YouTube and Facebook channels. That is fun people talking about fun comics. It's a lot of fun. And Grant Lankard says, yeah, his name is J.W. Sims. I guess I will get into his story a little. He had major surgery a couple days ago before his first Kickstarter was to end. Please look up Omni on Kickstarter to support. Again, please put in a link if you could, Grant, so that it'll make it easier on everyone. And good morning for Cameron Christopher Payne. Good to see you, sir. Hope your morning's going well. One party is in Paranormal Authors Gone Wild, and one is my readers group on Facebook. Are you an outlaw? Maybe you should be. Join Michaela Jade's Outlaws on the Facebook thing. And sounds entertaining. Yes, it does. And cool. Convert the parties to holiday celebrations. There we go, Exegy Studios. Now we're talking. And yeah, The Dish is a great movie, says Brian Wenslow. Carl Witzman, I will kick him a buck or two. Grant, just for you. There we go. And Brian Robin, yesterday I watched The Fog by John Carpenter for about the 3,000th time. What, you don't like that film? What the hell's wrong with you? It is quite possibly the perfect ghost story movie. If the intro by the campfire doesn't get you going, you don't have a pulse, I gotta say. For me, it's a 3-way tie between that, Halloween, and The Thing as best Carpenter film. What about you, BKM? I love Halloween, and he did a good job on The Thing. I really do admit that. I don't think I've seen The Fog, though, is the thing. I need to catch up on that. I will say that Swamp Thing, there were 2 things I liked in them, and that was Adrienne Barbeau. Otherwise, it was okay. And Ellie Mack says, yeah, sound waves. Yeah, very painful. Yeah, and it leaves like nastiest looking bruises. Look like you got rolled. So, and there we go. Brian Rodman, Prince of Darkness. There we go. He does Prince too. What the heck, man? I didn't know he was musical. And we are at 30. Ellie, I'm jealous. I think here it's supposed to top out at about 31 Fahrenheit. Let's check the page. Let's check the forecast right now. Yeah, 31 cloudy today. Tonight, decreasing clouds with a low of 16. That is a low. And then 17 will be a low on Thursday night. The high on Thursday will be 29, but Friday is going to be 34, so we'll get rid of anything that's still left over on the sidewalks from a couple days ago. But then Saturday, 40% chance of snow and rain that day. And Saturday night, it's going to be 80% with a 50% on follow-up on Sunday. So I'll be staying in the house. Where I'm going to go shopping on Friday, I think. And just stay in. And they live, says Brian Wensloff. Good choice. Clyde Hall says, this week I'm working on a second B-Man adventure for Pulp Reality 2 from Stormgate Press. If you haven't picked up number 1 yet, catch up and be ready for our follow-up. Definitely check out that magazine there. It's getting rave review after rave review. All of us in there are very proud of what we've done, and number 2 is going to be even better. And Clyde, I'm just wrapping up my story, which will be it will not be a Captain Hawkland story as previously announced. It's going to be Doc Saga meets Lieutenant Hawkland. So anyway, it's going to be some good stuff, and they're looking forward to being in there with some great people like Clyde Hall. And Bill Sarden says, join the Far Out and Groovy Kids by clicking on Sardenart76 on Facebook and help get the artwork of Bill Sarden to 1,000 likes. When that happens, he's going to be having a special sketch giveaway contest, and the winners get to pick the sketch they want. And right now, Bill is 130 likes away from the goal, so invite your friends to like the artwork of Bill Sarden, where everything old is new again. Definitely check that out. A lot of great stuff from Bill Sarden. He puts a lot of good work on that page, and love this one. Love you too, Ellie. And Christian, as Willow, we need to see the chill factor meter. You have to prove how cold it is. It's like taser tits. Oh, Christian is going to get canceled one of these days, I swear to God. And I'm going to be there to watch, and I've got the popcorn. Anyway, oh, he is that perv. Rick Bradley, 2 years ago, I had a kidney stone, and they wanted me to try to pass it. I say if it has the grades, do so. I made them do surgery because it was not passing. They said when they took it out, it was 4 millimeter and was very spiky. There was no way it was coming out on its own. I never want that pain again. My entire insides are hurting just reading that. Oh, man. And Brian Rodman says, I'm glad you came through it, though, Rick. Brian Rodman says, I need to watch Prince of Darkness. I've seen some of it, but it's been years, and I know I would love it. And Rick goes, happy birthday, Michaela. And John B. Pica, I am also now in love with Willow Schuyler, but it's a secret, so don't tell her. Your secret is safe with us. I won't say a word about it, John. I promise. It's just those 50 other people I tell. They just can't keep a secret for nothing. No. To know Willow is to love her. That's what it is. And They Live is an excellent documentary, says Brian Rodman. Yeah. And Cindy Cap, don't get jealous. I'm still undyingly devoted to you two. I have room in my heart for both of them too, John. It speaks well of us, I'm sure. And Joe Bachman, time to hop off for now. Have a great day all, and hopefully I'll be able to hang around for a full show on Friday. I hope so, Joe. Love your participation, brother. You keep making those great programs. Good luck to you and getting them up there. And have an excellent, excellent hump day. And John B. Pica, I found her first. I don't care. I'm the host. And Brian says, Pops Van Zandt, good to see you, brother. Busy day. CromCon Europe schedule is full. Well, cool. Well, I forgot to sign up for that thing. Oh, well, I'll be watching and enjoying that. Gospel Illusionist says, I get to travel for the first time in a while. I'm traveling to Columbus to spend $400 on magic. Well, that sounds like fun. And there's Back of the Cereal Box, 8 a.m. Saturdays on YouTube. This Saturday a.m., author, publisher, podcaster, Steven Zimmer of 7 Star Press will be our guest. He is awesome. He is a great guy. Definitely check out that show. Joe Dog McKeel says NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL already have their own channels. Oh, do they? That shows how far behind I am. Well, I'm thinking, that what do they need this? What do they need DirecTV for then? And Michaela thanks Trevor Hawkins. Brian Wetheloff says WWE Network is really good. Problem is they show all that WWE crap on it. If they get rid of that, that might be fun. Anyway, great documentaries and old school wrestling from all the territories. Okay, now that I would tune in for. And Grant is mocking Carl with his laughter. And you're very welcome. Michaela says, Trevor, and OMG, is that a cheese grater? I remember that show, Joe Dog. Yeah, Joe Dog McKeel. That was when I remember where I was, and Cookie was closer to the TV. I said, honey, get up and turn that off right now. And she raced up there like it was a $20 bill on the dial. And Brian Robin says, I haven't watched wrestling since WCW. The NWO Sting arc was probably the best story of wrestling, in my opinion. After that, I just couldn't get into it anymore. I was a big fan of the old AWA with like Vern Gagne, Larry Zbyszko, all those great Gagne. The original rock, the Rockers, the Rock and Roll Express, Bobby Heenan, before they all vacated for the WWE. And there was a series of great matches with Vern Gagne and I'm blanking on the guy's name, but I'm who he wrestled. But it was an hour-long scientific match, and the guy, it was Nick Bockwinkel. That's right, Nick Bockwinkel of Bockwinkel and Ray the Crippler Stevens fame. And anyway, the two had a scientific wrestling match, and every time that Nick did something dirty, he stopped and apologized and shook Vern's hand. Well, towards the end, Larry Zbyszko jumped in the ring when the referee was distracted, and he had a roll of dimes, and he knocked Gagne out, and then grabbed Bockwinkel and threw him on top of Vern, and the referee saw this, of course, 1, 2, 3. Now, the referee didn't like Zbyszko, and when they and the thing is, Gagne then challenged Zbyszko to a match, and they went through, and it was all scientific, and every time Larry tried to cheat, Vern wouldn't put up with it, and the referee stopped him. And so at one point, the referee gets distracted by something, and Vern it's Bockwinkel wrestled him. Bockwinkel wrestled him. That's right. And Bockwinkel, of course, was out wrestling Larry. And at one point, he very visibly in front of the camera made a big show of raising his hand in the air, reaching into his trunks. Don't get excited, Christian. And pulled out a roll of dimes and then slugged Zbyszko in front of the referee. And, of course, got the pin. Not in front of the referee. The referee had his head turned. Excuse me. But anyway, knocked out Zbyszko. Zbyszko's out cold, and he yells at the referee, hey, look. And so he gets the count, wins the match, and then stands there while Zbyszko is trying to rouse himself, and Bockwinkel had broken open the dimes and was throwing them at Zbyszko as hard as he could. They're sticking to his sweaty skin. And Zbyszko, of course, wakes up and sees all these dimes stuck to him, and he's like, realizes what happened, and so he's complaining to the referee, and the referee gets on the PA system, and goes, "It has been brought to my attention that Nick Bockwinkel brought an illegal object, a foreign object, into the ring that decided the match." And he looked at the Zbyszko and goes, "Well, I didn't see it, so it didn't happen. Bye." Ran out of the ring, and Zbyszko's screaming in the ring, "I will pay, promoter, I will pay you to let me wrestle him again." Now, after that, no other match had that much fun for me. But because I was always, WWF was okay at the time, but AWA was it. It was it for me. And Brian always gets mad at me for not putting in the link. I always put in the link, but the YouTube doesn't show it to you. Okay, then I don't see it here on StreamYard. Then I take back my ire. Grant, okay? And Joe Dog McKeel says, now for my funnies. Why can't T-Rexes clap? Because they're all dead. Duh. Just the ones doing pornography now. And Brian Wesloff, I'll die on this hill, but WWE NXT is the best thing in wrestling today. That's a low bar to hurdle, dude. Anyway. I couldn't resist. Trevor Hawkins, I think he wants it typed in, Grant, not as a true link. Yeah. I think anything that, if it shows up, anywhere, that would be a good thing. And if you're typing that in, that's fine. It just doesn't show up on StreamYard, so I apologize to you. Carl Westman Grant, I think YouTube waits until the broadcast ends and gives Brian the chance to approve it, so only the rerun viewers see it. Well, that's good too, because I will tell you a statistic here. Our shows tend to increase their audience by a minimum of 30% within the first 24 hours. So if we get a couple hundred people watching an episode, for instance, on any single platform, chances are, let's say a couple hundred, we're going to get like another 60 to probably 100 people watching within the next 24 hours. So it's all good. It's all good. And here you go. What do you call a blind dinosaur-esque gospel illusionist, Jake? Do you think he saw us? That's funny. That's good, Jake. That's good. Everyone is like wrestling news, Marvel, DC on streaming, and I'm over here like Cartoon Network, says Amy Hill. I'm more in your corner now. I love cartoons. I always love cartoons. Yeah, Yeah, I'm waiting for the old Rick and Morty channel. Brian Robin, I don't doubt that WWE is doing great things. I just don't have time to watch it anymore, honestly. I'm good if I watch newish movies these days. Making comics is a life suck, but it's an amazing one I can't get enough of. I'm with you, Brian. If I have a choice between watching TV and writing, I'm doing my writing. Or if I'm broadcasting, it's like I got to do these shows. So, or appearing with other people and helping promote them or answering questions. I'd rather do that than watch TV. I agree. TV for me had become an incredible attention and time suck. And unfortunately, creative time is something you don't get back. So if you want to be, if you are in a business like Brian or myself or Amy or anyone, I just found there are better things to do than watch TV. Not to diss Brian at all. Not to diss Brian Wentzolf at all. And he does a great show based on pop culture stuff like that. But it's just not in my DNA anymore. I've got it burned out of me. I think it happened when I got my first Amazon check. Anyway, and Cartoon Network hasn't been great in years. Well, a lot of people still like it, Brian. So, and Bill Sartin, if you haven't signed up for Cindy Cap's newsletter yet, says Bill Sartin, and you're really missing out. It's really uplifting and a great way to keep up with the wonderful things that Cindy is creating. Go to CKOEPP.com to sign up today. I agree. Definitely agree, Bill. We can all agree with that. But we can't agree on wrestling, and that's okay as long as we can agree to disagree. Except as long as you do it with me. Anyway, Brian Robin, oh man, Cartoon Network is amazing. I think Primal on Adult Swim is one of the most moving shows I've seen in a long time. I cried like a baby at the first episode. Ooh, I've not seen Primal. That sounds good. And, and Jake is getting the vaccine early. Good for you, Jake. And Joe Dog McKeel says Congress banned a la carte cable back in the early 90s. That is why you can't have that. Oh, I didn't realize it. That sucks. That totally sucks. It's like my old cable system back in Champaign, Illinois was last, and same thing with to a degree with DirecTV, which we had. I love DirecTV. I never had a problem with DirecTV service or performance, but they kept saying, well, we're giving you like ESPN's we're giving you ESPN Detroit. I don't care. We're giving you ESPN, Wichita, Kansas. I don't care. I wouldn't care if they gave me ESPN Madison Avenue, which is where I lived at the time. I don't care how close or especially how far away it is. I don't care for sports. And Cookie and I realized that we had a couple hundred channels, and like was said earlier, we only watch about 5 to 10 of them. Why are we paying that much money? We weren't getting that much fun, especially since so many of them come out on tape or on digital anymore. So I would rather, even Doctor Who, which is my favorite TV program right now, I would rather work and earn the privilege to watch it as a reward later. So it's just, I work faster. I work better without the TV on. And Brian, you can always have a cameo in my short films. I would love to be a cameo. I would love to have a cameo in your short films, Bill. I would love just to work with you on that. And Brian Robin says, in the final season of Samurai Jack blew me away. Now, Samurai Jack was an amazing cartoon. I do like that. And Joe Dog McKeel asks, how do you weigh figs? In newtons. Oh, science humor is the best. And Brian Wesloff, Cartoon Network died in the early 2000s for me. It's so different today. Well, that's it. And just like wrestling with me, I could not care less what's going on in wrestling. I only care about wrestlers when they become movie stars, pretty much. And Brian Robin, they canceled Venture Brothers, says Bill Field. I never got into Venture Brothers, but yeah, I love Samurai Jack. I loved a lot of the older cartoons they were running. And there she is. Good morning, everyone. Really short break today. Dumb meetings. Anyway, Cindy Kep's here, CKOEPP.com. Cindy, we ran your spot earlier. And please sign up for her newsletter and check out her book. She is amazing. And yeah, Joe Dog says, Carl Witzman, those big cable companies make too much money on selling you channels you don't need. Money talks in DC. Sad. Yeah, that's why I'm worried about copyrights now, because we are closing in rapidly on the year when Steamboat Willie's going to be up in the public domain. Now, I still wouldn't touch it. I still wouldn't touch it because the mouse has it, and I know, and it's probably trademarked that image already. So I wouldn't mess with Steamboat Willie. Now Superman will come up about 4 years later. I hope I'm around for that. But no, and I'm seeing things in Congress. Like right now, there was a bill that was part of the newest stimulus package, but it's targeting mostly people that post things online that are copyrighted. Now, the music industry has really become aggressive, like the RIAA was in the 80s, about trying to find people who are violating music copyrights. And I get it. But I'm thinking we may also see a possible cessation of current properties moving into the public domain, which enhances their value by letting other people explore it creatively. How many, just Romeo and Juliet alone, how many great things have come about simply because that's in the public domain and people can tinker with it. So anyway, that's my editorial for the moment. That's something maybe we'll talk about some night. I need to get a show just to do business like that. Anyway, Gospel Illusionist Shake says, why did the kid throw the T-Rex out the window? He wanted to see a dinosaur. And to enjoy with your coffee, check this out. It's better than creamer. Me on Smashwords. Thank you, Cindy. I love you. And please, CKOEPP.com. Cartoon Network is buried in the same grave as Nick at Night. Hey, listen, I still miss Night Flight from the USA Network. Now, there's a channel that's changed radically in the last 35 years. But yeah, I remember it used to be like in the day, they ran like a lot of the British soaps, and at night they ran like wrestling and some other shows. And on the weekend, they had the amazing Night Flight. You have not seen entertainment like Night Flight. It was great. And yes, alas, the Venture Brothers, says Brian Rodman, is a casualty of poor decision-making for sure. And more flavor with a special mug is me on Amazon. Check it out. Thank you, Cindy. And Amy Hale says, I'm watching the classic stuff, but I do have a soft spot for Dexter's Laboratory and Johnny Bravo. Those are so much fun. And with a side order of Stompy Robots and Simple Swords, check out Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert on Amazon. Also check out Coy Wolf and other great books by his wife, Amanda Tockert. And Brian Winslow, Amy Hale, that's from the good era of Cartoon Network. Okay, and they're not running that anymore? All right. Anyway, Brian Robin says, I think Adult Swim is an amazing extension of Cartoon Network. That's where all the good stuff is, folks. Toonami is back too. Oh, cool. They realize that all the late 90s and early 2000s audience is watching that now, so they're appealing to us, and I'll take it. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, if it were for things like Dexter's Laboratory and Johnny Bravo and some of those great cartoons from that time, Samurai Jack, we wouldn't have, I think things like Rick and Morty and things like that, which I think is one of the cleverest cartoons ever. It's one of those, I think the best way to describe it is stupid. It's a stupid cartoon that's very, very clever, and it's stupid. It camouflages a lot of great things in there. Rick Bradley says, can't forget about Courage the Cowardly Dog. That's a good one. Good call. And also follow your favorite artists on Patreon to get cool contents, including Cindy Cap. Please, if nothing else, please go to Cindy Cap's Patreon and give her $1 a month. It's $12 a year. That's less than a price of a book on most books on Amazon. So please support this amazing lady. She is wonderful. Go Clyde. Go Clyde, says our cheerleader Cindy Cap. And Brian Rahman says, oh man, all these shows are fantastic. And a lot of them are on HBO Max now. And of course, you can't forget the Powerpuff Girls. What a great show. Yes. Definitely. And Carly takes a moment to check her son by proxy's English homework. Okay. And Ryan Permisson, glad to see you here, sir. Pardon me. Good morning, Nevermorians. How are you? I'm fine. I turn my head and cough. Team Godzilla or Team Kong, check out our Patreon today at It's Nerd Culture. Also check out It's Nerd Culture on the interwebs. Great conversation show about pop culture. And I saw a dinosaur yesterday. I dated her 4 years ago, says Gospel Jake. You did not. You cad you. Anyway, Joe Dog McGill says, well, let's go get another root canal. I mean, let's go back to work on the plumbing issues. The root canal is not as depressing. Well, that's true. At least the root canal, you get it done and it's over yet. But to find out the city has got the blockage, man, I'd be. Imagine you're putting in the calls, and good luck. Keep us posted. Don't forget, Stupid O'Clock will be on 9:00 tomorrow night on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, and it will be awesome. I'll be listening avidly. And Cindy Cap is already out of break. I'm sorry, darling. I'll catch up with you all later, but in the meantime, check out The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, Dastardly Dingoes in the back of the cereal box. Definitely, and go to CKOEPP.com for some great literature, some imaginative stories, Flights of Wonder, and also sign up for that great newsletter of hers. Cindy, another great issue. Loved reading it. And the Bubble Vicious episode was the best, says Rick Bradley. Carl Wisman says, poor Joe, good luck. And Carly, don't forget his Oxford commas on that assignment. That's enough out of you, Carl. Anyway, Jason G Studio says, no, I couldn't live in a world where everyone is in Guy Fawkes mask. Why can't it be Spider-Man mask? Just saying. Okay, now that I can get behind. I can get behind Spider-Man masks. There are some cool masks out there. I had some ideas for some myself. Now, of course, I do have one I do favor, which you can get if you follow my merch page. Which if you're you check the listing for this show, you'll see a link there. And it keeps you safe. Whoever thought I would save your life? Anyway, Jake says, I know the perfect mask to wear, the helmets from Daft Punk. Ooh, that's the thought. Yeah, if we if we all dressed up like Slipknot, we'd all be safe by now. Jeffrey Hayes, OMG, someone needed to remind me how much of a pain in the arse reformatting a computer would be. Sorry, but I keep hopping on and off. I keep hopping on and off the show. But check out the new Season 3, Episode 1, Dastardly Dingoes broadcast, and JD Calderon is on there. He's got to be a blast. I like that guy. He's a great creator. And OMG, I rarely say have to, but you have to see the fog, says Carly Carlene. I do want to see it. That's one I have missed, I am sorry to say. And Netflix just surpassed 200 million subscribers. Do you believe Disney Plus will pass that this year, or at least come close? I think they'll come close, although I'm hearing reports that they are going to be dropping a lot of their older films. And there was a rumor on Bounding Into Comics that they may be... they've got a lot of material that today is unpalatable, that, for various reasons, like Song of the South and various other shows where basically it triggers people's offense. And there is a rumor going around they may use Walt as a scapegoat for that and kind of distance themselves from Walt himself. Skunk Rocker says, I personally think Carpenter's best film is Christine, but I'm also biased being a car guy and all. Oh, I forgot he did that. He did the Christine. The movie was great. The book was amazing. And another OMG from John B. Pica, the storyteller. You guys, I had COVID way back in September and October, and I just got a tracking call from the Tennessee Department of Health just now, and he is unhappy. Wow. Well, we've been pretty good. We've had in Indiana, we have had tracking for several months now. Our state head of health, Dr. Bach, she has been doing a great job. And that's why I think we've come so far here in Indiana. Tennessee, Missouri, you guys must be like living in the Wild West or inside a leper colony. You guys have not gotten good service from your state government. And we're not 100%, but we're doing better. And Carl, it's about verbs, not silly Oxford commas. And Brian Wesloff, Disney Plus is already at 86 million subscribers in their first year. Well, good for them. And Grant Langer says, my wife and I are debating who the best cast of Saturday Night Live is. I thought maybe you could weigh in. My favorite is Mike Myers, Dana Carvey, and Phil Hartman. I'm kind of partial, of course, to the original lineup once they added Bill Murray. Murray was not with the original, not ready for primetime players. But my second favorite would be, I think it was the early 80s, and it was Martin Short, Billy Crystal, Pamela Stevenson, Dennis Miller, a great group there, great writing, some of the best stuff there. And I really have passed up a lot of stuff here. We just got a comment dump here, so we're going to try to catch up. Eggs and G Studios Inc. 10 p.m. Saturday, an interview with me. Please come see us. Picture it, having news outlets doing a J. Jonah Jameson, it must be Spider-Man. That menace, forever crime report if people wore spider masks instead. Well, I could just see also, COVID-19, threat or menace. So I'm looking forward to that. Gospel Jake says, I found something really cool on Amazon, the original Bible Man and Veggie Tales. It's so awesome. Oh, very cool. And if people believe that bars and restaurants are super spreaders and need to be closed, says Bill Sarn, then every Walmart and other big box stores in the country should follow. Disagree. Science says you're wrong. Walmart alone has always been a petri dish for every kind of infectious disease for years. All the restaurants are following all the CDC guidelines and need to stay open. Danville Mayor Ricky Williams, and who I know, and he's a great guy, has even said that our local restaurants are safe, and he's more concerned about the local businesses permanently closing. I will agree with you with part of that. However, I will disagree with you about Walmart. Yes, Walmart gets a lot of people. Yes, a lot of them are stupid. But now that they're making masks mandatory, I think Walmart is safe again. The problem is with restaurants, and I know this from having worked in there, it is difficult to have social distancing and still keep the traffic that you need, because they make money on the food that they serve, but they also make money on turning that table over, as it's called. And if they can get, like, per table at least 3 people there, 3 different sets of orders there, then a lot of places can make their nut. But because of the proximity, they, like Cracker Barrel is not made for fat people like me. It's, they have to close off the tables in order to maintain social distancing, which cuts down on their revenue. Fortunately, they've got the gift shop. But a lot of restaurants, fast food, for instance, don't have that luxury. But no, I will agree that if places like restaurants are smart, do social distancing, and they are safe. But the problem is with bars and restaurants is because of the proximity with people. And in those places, you are allowed to remove your mask. And a lot of people, and I've been guilty of it too, it's like you finish your meal, but your mask stays off. I've gotten better about putting it back on once I'm done eating. But a lot of places don't enforce that. So I would say, you get a larger number of people in Walmart, but I think your opportunities for infection are less because of the distancing and because everyone is continually wearing masks. And I will stand on that, Bill. We will agree to disagree. And thank you, Cindy Cap. And let's see. And Grant Lankert's looking forward to Pulp Reality too. I genuinely like the first one. Not just saying that because friends worked on it. Grant, you ought to, if you haven't already, talk to Charles Millhouse about maybe getting some illustration stuff in there. And now those of you who into that pro wrestling history need to watch this past Saturday's episode of Reels and Heels is back of the cereal box. Yes, indeed. And Joe Dog McHale said, I learned a long time ago not to wish a lady happy birthday. They think your next question is how old are they? And we all know that is a bad idea. So I play it safe and I don't remind them. There we go. There we go. Rick Bradley says Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon were the best duo in wrestling. Yeah, they were great commentators. They really were for a lot of reasons. And we went back all the way to the first fixed match between Ed Lewis and Frank Gotch. Oh, yeah, back of the cereal box. Good call there. Brian Wesloff says that wrestling match you were talking about is actually on WWE Network. Oh, cool. That's a great match. Good scientific wrestling. Really great athleticism. And Zabisco used dimes. Flair and Arn used quarters, just saying hand size matters. Dog McKeel. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I got into a heckling match with Larry Zabisco at Danville, at the Palmer Center in Danville back in the 80s. I won. XG Studios says classic wrestling, AWA and WCCW. Yes. Oh my God. Those and NWA. Those are my jam. And Mid-South. Mid-South was great. Cartoons. MeTV is doing over the air Saturday morning cartoons is back on Cereal Box. That's true. God bless them. Every generation should have Saturday morning cartoons. And the new version of Carmen Sandiego is a pleasant surprise on Netflix. I haven't seen the cartoons yet. I didn't really get into the earlier ones, but I love the game show on PBS. That with Rockapella and all those great people. That was great. John B. Pike of the Storyteller says, I schedule time to watch TV and movies. I schedule everything. I create a time budget and give every hour a name. I do too, but I fill mine with work. And Mark Lerner, greetings from the prairie. Mark, good to see you. Hope you and the family are staying warm and safe this weekend. And John B. Pike of the Storyteller, Joe Dog, you don't need a la carte cable when you know you have a la carte streaming. Yeah, the thing is, a lot of people want continual new content, and there are so many exclusives now that a number of people are worried about the aggregate price of streaming, which is not going to go down really fast anytime soon. That if you were to get everything just from the major ones, you would be spending probably more than you do on a cable right now. But Hulu Live and YouTube TV are great services to check. There are a couple things on YouTube. There was one called Mindfield by Vsauce that I really love. But if you wait a year, it becomes free, and I'll wait. And I always have TV on in the background to cancel out my tinnitus. Can't do music because music distracts me more than TV, says Carlene. Yeah, I've got tinnitus too. I've had it forever. It doesn't seem as bad as when I was a kid, but I have all the voices in my head. That kind of helps me. Trevor Hawkins says, I love to work on art while watching shows or listening to podcasts or old radio shows like The Green Hornet. That stuff is great. By the way, Jim Beard is working on a brand new Green Hornet novel for Moonstone Publishing. I'm excited for that. Samurai Jack's final season was amazing. Very much not for kids. No, that whole series, I think, was not exactly a kid's show, but I think that's what may help make it awesome. And Venture Brothers, Brian K. Morris, I cannot believe you've never gotten into it. It is a straight-up parody of Johnny Quest. It's great. The episodes I watched a couple episodes. I just didn't get into it that much. I recognize I'm an oddball, but Trevor loved it very much, and they ended up using the actual Johnny Quest characters. I like Johnny Quest. He was in Future Quest from DC Comics a couple of years ago. That was awesome. And Exegy Studios says Venture Brothers is a great parody of the original Johnny Quest. I agree, sir. And back in the Zero Box, the DM part of the stimulus was was supported by every movie studio, video game publisher, and major record label. They are going to crack down on using copyright material online. Yeah, and that's the thing. How many of us, I'm in trouble already because of the clip of and now's the time when we throw our heads back and laugh. That's copyrighted material, but I use a snippet of it, and we could question whether that's fair use or not, but it's better to err on the side of caution. And I noticed that I've been watching some legal shows about the new digital rights management thing, and noticed that every one of them was using copyrighted material from other people for their shows. So anyway, Grant Langer says, I haven't thought about Samurai Jack in years. I love that show. After reading Ronin by Frank Miller, I realized how much it was influenced by that. Ronin, I think, was one of my favorite works by Miller. I loved Ronin. That was a great book. I loved his Daredevil, virtually all of his Daredevil, and especially Born Again. And I super dug Ronin is the proper pronunciation. But after that, I became less and less of a Miller fan. And Grant liked Venture Brothers too. And Johnny Bravo is Pika's spirit animal. Good for you, John. And Space Ghost, Coast to Coast, says Trevor Hawkins. I love the original Space Ghost, the adventure show from Saturday mornings. Never got into... I really didn't care for Space Ghost Coast to Coast. And Exegy mocks Cereal Box with his laughter. And, I'm not going to read that joke, Jake. I am not going to read that. And I miss Symbiotic Titan, excuse me. I think my Freudian slip is showing. Amy Hale says, we need stupid in our lives. That's why you guys still put up with me. Darling, I provide all the stupid you could require. Okay, I am oozing stupid. In fact, I've got a mop and bucket standing by just in case. Amy Hill, I think it's a prerequisite for all of us. Yeah, there are some days many of us don't cast, our heads don't cast shadows. My wife and I were debating the best. Okay, we got that. Yeah, mine is my favorite overall is, aside from the original, Not Ready for Primetime Players. Although that's a great era. But mine's the Billy Crystal. Christopher Guest was on that too. There were a lot of great guests during that time. And let's see. You might be wrong, says Gospel J, or I might be wrong, but I think by September they're saying we won't have to wear masks anymore because they're saying it's supposed to be normal by March. They're just saying no. We will not be, as long as this, especially now that the virus is mutating seriously. we're going to be dealing with this, I think, for at least another year. Maybe March we'll get close to normal, but there's a number of people unfortunately, our lives are going to change. We are going to have to pay more attention to sanitation, distancing. A lot of people are now talking about, stopping hugging, stopping handshaking. This is something that's going to have ramifications in how we behave that I think we're going to be dealing with for generations. Excuse me, to be honest with you. And especially, now that we've got two distinct strains of the virus, one of which is more infectious and the other one is not only more infectious, but it may be more fatal too. So, why complain about it? We just got to do what science tells us to. And, that's how we're going to protect each other. It's not about saving our own asses. It's saving everyone else's. Back in the cereal box, Disney Plus, a new trailer for Raya yesterday. They'll drop in theaters and Disney Plus the same day. Excuse me. Now, that's something I think we're going to see a lot more of. And I kind of approve of that. I do like that. This whole thing is going to, again, it's going to change how we live. We are going, the streaming services are going to thrive. Regular cable and satellite may not. Theaters are going to be in for a very rough time. Local live theater is going to have to change too. Music venues are going to have to change. It's not like the day after the inauguration, everything went back to normal. That's not going to happen. And Skunk Rocker says, I'm not a medical expert, not really up to date on what the government has been saying because whatever. Yeah, and you can't, it's only now that we're getting the government to really, more people in the government are starting to row in the same direction, except in Congress, who think they're above the law or rules. And actually, Disney Plus says Brian Westloff isn't dropping their old films. They are just not available on a child's profile in the app. This only came from a UK article, hasn't been confirmed in the US. They have a disclaimer before all the old films. I've read a couple of US things too that said that Disney is kind of divorcing themselves from a lot of the older movies. And I think like Bambi is on that list for some reason. I've also heard Snow White may be on that list because I think we have more protest groups in America is what it is. Skunk Rocker said, that being said, I did hear that the president said we could achieve herd immunity by the summer. That is, I know Fauci has been saying that we could get herd immunity this year, but even he is starting to backtrack on the percentage of the population. Plus, we're having all kinds of kerfluffles now with getting the vaccines out. And, you're seeing people who are skipping line. They're finding, there was something, Philip DeFranco had an article yesterday about two human POSs that they were in charge of some kind of casino chain, and they took it's a husband and wife. And by the way, the casino chain is under investigation for misappropriating funds. But anyway, this gives you an idea that the guy who is running it got into his private plane, went to a reservation, an Indian reservation, and basically said, well, we're new hires at the local Indian reservation casino, so we are frontline workers and we need that vaccine. So they both got it. They got back aboard their private jet and flew 2 hours back to home. I hope that the vaccine turns into molten brass in their veins. Scout Crocker says, also good news. Found out recently that the report from the UK that the vaccine was causing allergic reactions to people with egg allergies. Total BS. It was an anti-vax host. I can get vaccinated. Yes. In fact, we covered that before you became a regular on here, that it is not egg-based and that it is not like a standard, because it's not like a standard vaccine, which, uses, egg elements in it, as part of its medium. But because this is RNA based, it's different. So Skunk, you can get vaccinated. I think that's great. And Scott Crocker I heard from him yesterday, he's going to get rid of the virus around March. It's not up to him. It's not up to him. But Carl Westman says that is great news, Scott Crocker. I agree. And good morning, Nevermorians. I have risen as a late visitor. Nick Talker, you're worth waiting on, brother. Hope you're having a great day so far. And I looked at the Job Bible story I was saying about it. It reminds me of the situation. It's crazy. Well, we're all Job in this case, man. So, we're all putting up with it. And back in the stereo box says, I just grabbed 2 episodes of the Green Hornet radio show on vinyl at the flea market. Oh man, I love coming across those old shows on vinyl. I've got like 3 volumes of the Adventures of Superman on vinyl that Kellogg's was doing as a giveaway way back when. Good stuff. And the recent Green Hornet comic from Dynamite was super cool. Dynamite's been doing some good stuff with pulp and radio properties. I have liked a great number of them. A couple of them, not so much. The Shadow ones have been fantastic. And yes, says Brian Rodman, Born Again by Miller is one of the best superhero comics out there. I know you don't care for The Dark Knight Returns, but did you like Batman Year One? Yes, I did. I liked Batman Year One a lot. Not just a little, but a lot. The only thing it would have been perfect if Miller had worked in the classic speech about, criminals are a superstitious, cowardly lot, so my disguise must be able to strike terror in their hearts. I mean, if Jan and Dean can remember it, surely Frank Miller can. But yeah, I don't care for Dark Knight Returns. The last couple episodes have been pretty good, though, with Miller not writing it. But anyway, but the follow-up, The Dark Knight Returns 2, is a piece of crap, and the All-Star Batman is total crap. Anyway, in my humble opinion. And Scooby-Doo Samurai Pizza Cats, seriously, go look them up on YouTube. I will do that. Nick, right now I'm binging on Ultraman. I've been seeing the different Ultramen. There's like about 487 of them. I just got through a couple of their big event movies, which are really quite fun. But I also discovered like Ultraman Jack, which was the return of Ultraman, which followed the original 1965 series. And I also saw one. He looks more like a Texas Ranger than a regular Ultraman. And started out as a cartoon, I guess, but they finally created a live version of him. But yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up. I will have to look that up, Nick. I will. Miller's Daredevil is a huge reason why I started creating comics, says Brian Rodman. We talk about that in the new episode of Dastardly Dingoes with JD. Also had no clue that the original Teenage Mutant Ninja #1 was a partial parody of Miller's Daredevil. Yes, and there were only 3,000 copies printed up because that's all Eastman and Laird could afford to do. And it was one of 2 comics during the 80s that was actually bootlegged. So Brian Robbins says, I'm torn between the streaming versus theater war. I think streaming is the future, but I love going to the theater to see movies. Not sure how to feel. Yeah, I'm the same way. I love the panorama of seeing a big budget film. Lawrence of Arabia, for instance, I saw it in the theater twice, in fact. Beautiful panorama. Just doesn't come off the same on a smaller screen. But or something like Aquaman deserves a large screen. Love Actually doesn't, that sort of thing. But I agree with you. I think streaming is the future. This whole pandemic has changed how we take our entertainment. And yes, I love theaters. Yes, I don't want theaters to die out, but they are going to have to redo how they do business to make studios need to take a longer term view rather than trying to make all their damn money in one weekend and taking it from the theaters to do it. They need to work out something more equitable with the theaters, because it isn't the customer that's killing theaters. It's Hollywood. End of editorial. And if you disagree with me, oh well. Anyway, Joe Dog McKill, I learned last night that the vaccine does not contain egg protein, so that is a plus. And Skunks post hit same time as I posted. Great minds think alike, Joe Dog. Brian Rodman, we need theaters to survive. If they go away, Hollywood won't be able to survive in the way they need. Screw the big studios then. Screw them. Let them die. All right, and let the indie studios have those properties. And Gospel Jake says, I would have put Job, but people don't know I'm talking about Job, not Job, or Job, not Job. Well, that's what you get for dictating into your phone that doesn't know any better. And well, if that happened, I hope the government gets them in the wallet as standard. Having no medical insurance price is $40 million for the shot for jumping the line, says Exig Studios. Yeah, and they're young too, so they have a better chance of surviving it anyway over, say, someone like me who's 65 with a heart condition. Okay, just saying. And so Batman, The Long Halloween is great. Thoughts? Brian Wetzoff. Haven't seen the animated version because I really don't care to watch cartoons based on comics. Especially if they're too literal. I did see All-Star Superman. That was great, but I was amazed how you could cut out like the middle 6 issues and it still holds up. But it was a great story to start with. But The Killing Joke was a terrible story based on a terrible comic book, and they actually managed to make it a worse story. So anyway, and gotta run, lots to do today. Have a great day, everyone. Mwah. Amy Hale, hope you have a great day, hun. Love seeing you. Love that new mask. I gotta get me one. And Michaela Jade says, my newsletter goes out today. Are you on the list? Are you on Michaela's list? That's her good list. Get on her newsletter. Get on it today. And let's see. And I'm going to skip that, Jake. We got to make up some time here. This isn't a biblical debate here, unfortunately. And streaming versus theater war, support movies like you like on the big screen, says back on the cereal box. I'm going to support them where they can get to me and wherever it's comfortable. I'll support them in the DVD reissue. And rapid fire plugs. Luke Stone's new Indiegogo campaign has a chance to get drawn in. Excellent. And Brian Rahman, so passionately against Miller, I disagree, but I love the spirit of your hatred. That's not hatred. It's disappointment that he could do so much better. Unfortunately, a number of creators, particularly starting in the 80s, started to get this idea that they were better than their editors. And I have heard stories of some creators who, when and it still goes on to this day, when an editor tells them no, these guys and gals use their, not really so many gals, I should say, I'm just trying to be fair, but spread the blame, but they use their clout with the higher editorial to get rid of the editor. And I understand that, like there are some creators who can just basically say, well, I don't feel like doing this. And the editor is no longer the final word on the subject. About the only time I ever heard of it happening was, again, with Frank Miller, though. He was going to do a Batman comic called Holy Terror, where Batman would take on the Taliban. And DC read it and said, we can't publish this. This is total garbage. This is total, your politics, not a good comic story. And so Miller wound up publishing it at Dark Horse under the name Holy Terror and came up with a new character, and is totally unreadable. It is terrible stuff, but you gotta get it out there, I guess. Anyway, back in the cereal box, you guys, the pandemic is not a permanent situation. No, it won't be. Well, that's true. It won't be, because either it'll kill all of us or we will find a way to contain it. So that's very true. I will agree with that completely. And CKOEPP.com, Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. She is. And there's someone I adore, Robin Porter Cataret. Robin, mwah, good to see you. Hope to see you at NonCon 6. I'm already booked, and I'm looking forward to it. And WW Amazon, Nicholas Tockard, for all your big stompy robots and sword-based needs. New books and games listed as early as next month. Looking forward to that. Also, don't forget on YouTube, the Historical Fencing Guild, 8 p.m. Friday nights. It is fun, high-energy entertainment from Nick Tockard. Brian Rodman, once again, my friend, you have delivered an amazing program this morning. Well, thank you. And I'm so thankful for your creativity and friendship. Ditto for me, brother. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, man. You're doing a lot too. Remember, folks, don't wait for your week to be yours. Make it so. Hashtag bring cookie home. Hashtag feed cookie. And hashtag laugh like a supervillain. That does feel good. Brian, you have a great rest of your day, brother. Good to see you, man. And Killing Joke, but the Gotham by Gaslight animated film was awesome. Well, again, they start out with a great story. I love the original Elseworlds story. That was fantastic. I haven't seen Gotham by Gaslight. I think I've got it, but I haven't taken time to watch it yet. But yeah, Killing Joke was a piece of crap, and I'm astonished because Brian Azzarello wrote the script, and he wrote so awesome Batman, the detective back in the day. So it's like, where did he go so wrong? And And Amy Hale says, I guess I should plug myself before I leave. Waggles eyebrows. Everyone, Michaela Jade will tell you, you should get a good plugging around here, Amy. Anyway, talk to John. Anyway, author.amyhale.com. Please check that out. And on Facebook, author Amy Hale. As if that wasn't enough, you definitely need to sign for Amy Hale's Angels. And she's going to be starting her brand new season of Creative as Hale, and I will be the first guest, I'm proud to say. That will be February 4th, and that's going to be fun. We are going to have a lot of fun on that show, whether people like it or not. And anyway, Amy, mwah, much love to you and John. Hope you have a great day. And Nick Talker says, Amazon for Amanda Talker. Her tales of love and lycanthropy are enchanting. I saw what you did there. And not a fan of Frank Miller's work at all. John, high fives, brother. Actually, his Daredevil is brilliant. Great experimental storytelling, and his he did one issue where actually, and I don't know that it's ever been reprinted that I'm aware of. You know, I mean, I don't buy a lot of the reprint volumes anymore. They may have it in an omnibus, but he did one special issue that he wrote. John Buscema did the art, and it is Matt Murdock does not appear as Daredevil once, but he goes into it. Matt Murdock goes into a small town and solves a problem there, and that is brilliant storytelling. And his Born Again is great stuff. And there are parts of it that choke me up. It's so good, like where Wilson Fisk has tried to. He's discredited Matt Murdock, revealed to the world. He's discredited Matt Murdock. He has destroyed Daredevil and broken him basically, and a foiled attempt on his life and to frame him for murder does not succeed, and he's exercising. Wilson Fisk is exercising in his gym, and he's like, they never found the body. Oh crap, they never found the body. And he's thinking, I've made the biggest mistake of my life because I have taken everything away from him, and they never found the body. And he goes, I've made a huge mistake because a man with nothing to lose is a man without fear. And I love that. That's great writing there. And Ted Davies Artistry says, have a great day, everyone. Brian, thanks for all you do, bro. Brother, thank you, man. And also, please, everyone, check out TED Talks on Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. He's also got a great cigar show with Carl Witzman that runs about twice a month, and it's a great show, and Ted does a lot of super broadcasting, and he's a fantastic artist, so check him out, and we'll see you soon, Ted. Have a great one. And Patreon, I forgot, Amy Hale is on Patreon now. Drop her some money. She's awesome. She's got a lot of great levels and great stuff on that Patreon page. I am a supporter too, so you need to be there. And the other night I was watching Retro TV in the Scrubhouse Discord server with some friends, and this one show came on, and I was like, is that an Ultraman? And Adri said no, but same company. Well, the thing is, they've made the same production team have made a number of Ultraman shows and some spin-offs. I want to say like Common Rangers or something like KAMEN. They also did a prequel to Ultraman called Ultra Q, which was more along like if they had mixed X-Files and Godzilla sort of thing. And Scott Crocker says, just too bad I can't remember what the show was called. Yeah, I'd be interested in that. Oh, and Amy Hale has a YouTube channel. I gotta make sure I'm on that. New stuff is coming soon, so you need to be on there. And Brian Wesoff, and if I'm being honest about my views of streaming versus theater, I prefer theater and physical media over streaming because I don't like my movies, TV shows compressed to be on streaming. And I would prefer getting it any way I can possibly, get it, whether it's in the theater or whether it's what?
I'm late.
You're late?
Yes. It's almost 12 o'clock.
You can't be late, honey. You had that surgery, remember?
Better sort.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you got to get lunch.
Yeah.
We got to get lunch for you.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap this up real fast. Anyway, but we'll agree to disagree. But I'm afraid unless Hollywood studios change and stop being so greedy at the expense of the people who support them the most, it isn't... It's your beloved studios that are going to kill the theaters. I guarantee it. I mean, right now, there are theater chains that are holding on by the skin of their teeth and being creative, but the studios are going to kill. Basically, they're going to kill the people that rather the businesses support them. And we can't say it's the customers. The customers want to go to the theaters. They will support good movies. Look at Avengers Endgame. They came out in droves for that one. Look at the Star Wars films. But it's the studios that say, no, we demand to be repaid the first weekend it comes out. I have no sympathy for them. They need to be taking care of their people. It's not rising tide, Brian, period. End of discussion for today, because Cookie's got to eat. I love you, Brian. Anyway, the problem with streaming versus theater is not all the theater experience and prices and all may not get the best quality based on internet and streaming. It's an either or issue. Buy Blu-ray, says X&G Studio. Now I'm with you there. And we've got bigger and better TVs now. You can stop the thing when you gotta go to the bathroom. That alone is worth it for me. I've got a bladder the size of a walnut now. Anyway, or it feels like it. But no, I agree. It's, things are going to change, whether we like it or not. And before you call it today, we are looking for amazing guests for the behind the cereal box, back of the cereal box broadcast. I'm going to talk to you about that sometime, I think. And Rick Bradley says, everyone take care and be creative. You too, Rick. Grant Lankard says, I know I wouldn't plug myself, but I should say I'm working on the newsletter. I'll try to give the address in a way that won't get flagged, monarchpublishing.net. That works. And actually, Grant, like I said, I go back in and I approve these things. So it will show up. It just won't show up right now. I'll die on this hill, but Mark Waid's Daredevil is better than Frank Miller's run. I don't know if it is better, but I'd say it's comparable. I loved his run. It was great. It certainly was more fun than Frank Miller's, and embraced the history more than Frank Miller. But yeah, Brian, it's a hill we'll both. I'll be up there with you on that one, and we will agree to disagree. And Common Writers is legendary. I'm aware of it. I need to check it out. And thanks again, Brian. I love you as always. And I love you too, Grant. You are a good sport. You all are good sports with my rants here. You guys are the best. I've got the best people here. And also, small production companies, contact your local theater, says Nick Tucker's many starting to show independent works for low prices. It would make a great event. Yeah, seriously. In fact, in Fowler, Indiana, which is close to where both Nick and I live, their theater can be rented out not only for special showings, and special events. Check with your local theater and see about getting a party going. And it's that time. Don't die, feed Cookie. Later, Gators. Carly, love you. Hope to talk to you later. And all right. I'll say it. Don't die. Happy birthday, Michaela. Now feed Cookie birthday cake. Okay. That's a good idea. That's better than a regular lunch. And buy all from Carl Wisman. Yes, buy today. Go to Amazon.com and buy everything you see there from the Nevermorians. And also check out all the great entertainment you see on all the great YouTube channels here. And Brian Wenzloff, I adore you, brother. I do. It's just that you're wrong. Anyway, on your show, you can be right. When it's on my show, I can be right. So anyway, thank you all for understanding Cookie's dietary needs, and I love you. In my mind, I'm snuggling with you too under that cover, holding you tight. Anyway, darling, I'm glad you're feeling better. Have a great day, sweetheart. Mwah. Love you. And Brian Wentzloff, if theaters go away, then it kills the film festivals like Sundance. Bill Bruce and Sundance is going to change too, man. Get used to it. We live in an uncertain world now, Brian. But anyway, think of all those people unemployed because the movie studios are too greedy. If they would take a longer view of their offerings, maybe they'd do better. If they would allow theaters to drop their prices, which could then be passed on with lower popcorn and other food prices. See? And but it's got to start with the theaters, because if it weren't for their greed, then the theaters wouldn't have to jack up the prices on concessions, which is what keep a lot of people out of the theaters. Period. Trevor Hawkins, bye. Good day, all. Trevor, hope you have a great day, brother. Glad to see you. And Nick Tucker, start chucking the chickens. Thank you for all the cards and the letters. Yes. Thank you, Nick Tucker. Thank you very much. And happy hump day from Bobby Nash, BobbyNash.com. Bobby, thank you for Bobby Nash is going to be returning to Clever Title Pending on a solo show without any adult on it. Not even, well, certainly not me. But anyway, we're looking. Thank you, Bobby, for consenting to be on the show. We will have a schedule for February in the next newsletter. Which, if you, I'm glad to see you, Bobby. We're on our way out. Cookies once lunch, so you know where I got to be. Anyway, check out risingtide.pub and sign up for our monthly newsletter. The next issue will go out February 1st at 5 p.m. Please be prompt and get your email address into the system there. Or if you have Facebook Messenger, direct message me and with your email address, and I will sign you up personally. Also, check out Patreon, where a great many of us, such as Bobby Nash, Nick Tockert, and Amy Hale and Michaela, no, Michaela's not on there yet, is she? Anyway, a lot of the creators that you see on here are on Patreon, and it's a great way to have direct contact with your favorite creators. So please check it out. Just $1 a month gets you contact. John B. Pica's on there with The Impossibles. A lot of good stuff on there. And we just posted one of our novels on my site yesterday. It's going to be fun. And Bobby Nash, I'm excited to be back again. Always a fun time. I have a blast when you're on there, man. I really do. I learn a lot, and you are so entertaining, brother. Also, check out abrahamsnow.com because it may be cold outside, but you know what? We're coming up on hashtag the summer of snow, as always, and check out great projects coming up that I'll start working on next week. So anyway, folks, thank you for being here. And if you've watched this on Facebook, the page you're on, whether it's the Rising Tide Broadcasting Network page or the Rising Tide Publications page, please give this video a like. All right. And please share it with your friends so that other people can see the links that have been posted here, and you're helping the Nevermorians out a lot. You really are. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube on the Brian K. Morris Rising Tide Publications page, please smash that thumbs up button if you've enjoyed any part of this video so far. And also, please, also subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. Touch it in an inappropriate place so you can be notified of all future shows. And Jeffrey Hayes, what did we say that got you angry, guy? Anyway, and Millie Keefe, thank you for your love, and also thank you to have I seen anyone I haven't talked to yet? Ernie Winland, Sarah Custer, to Sarah. Ernie, glad to see you as always. And Jared Osborne, glad to see you here. And thank you to everyone last night that tuned in to Clever Tile Pending. Please check that show out. That is going to be, you're going to really enjoy it with Lacey Lemke. And tomorrow night we're having a special Clever Tile Pending. We're gonna try to have a special every month for that show. And tomorrow night is really special. We've got Meredith Loughran on. She's got lots of producing credits. She's editor-in-chief at Wild One Forever. A great way to start your weekday. She's also the information mistress at Terraform Comics, and she is just winding up a very successful, her first Kickstarter campaign for her very first book. And she will be on tomorrow night to talk about that for an hour. And we're going to have some great conversation with her. Also tomorrow on the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, the lunchtime at the Doghouse has been canceled. Joe Dog has some real life stuff to take care of, but at 9 p.m. Stupid O'Clock will be showing on his page on Stupid O'Clock's channel on YouTube, also on Facebook. Share that video. It's a great conversation. As always, Skunk Rocker, looking forward to seeing you there. Friday, we'll have another episode of Nevermind the Furthermore at 10 a.m. And then Saturday, lots of good stuff. 11 p.m. will be Stupid O'Clock talking about the Rising Tide Broadcast Network. And then at 10 p.m. before that, Eggs and G Studios is going to have an interview with me. We're going to talk about comics. We're going to talk about all kinds of things. Looking forward to chatting with Joe D. McPhee on there, and we think you'll dig it too. Check out that channel and definitely give it some love. All right. And anyway, have a good day, brother. Love you. I love you too, Brian. I love our debates. And you might be right every now and then. Who knows? Anyway, love you, man. And maybe Nicole could be a guest sometime. What's this? Maybe crap. She's on my list. Anyway, seriously, she is. But anyway, that's what we got going. We hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. We're halfway through the work week, and we're going to get through this together. Whether we're talking about the My Sharona, Miley Cyrus, Peter pandemic, or trying to save the theater chains, or just trying to get to the next cup of coffee. All right, cafefe. Rise above, because that's what we're here about, and we're all going to help each other get there. And as much as we may disagree, we all come together on the important things, and that's supporting each other. So please, today, I've been pushing this a lot. Please take time today, and if you see a Nevermorian, share their message. Let people know Michaela, and happy birthday to Michaela Jade. We love you. And and greetings from the prairie. Mark Leonard, always a pleasure to have you here, brother. Always a pleasure. Brian Wetzoff, how about more Kraken? Now that is something we can all get behind, and anyone who disagrees can block me right now. But anyway, take the time today on Facebook and share something from someone else, whether it's a message for one of the many Kickstarters like JW Sims concluding Kickstarter, or somebody sharing a message, a video, share their YouTube video, get some fresh eyes in front of their work, and that helps them a lot. Okay. So anyway, folks, again, thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all so very much. And as always, we're going to let you have your Wednesday back. Make the most of it. Make it better for someone else, and you'll find your day getting better too. So anyway, folks, this is Brian K. Morris for the Rising Tide Broadcast Network, telling you, hope you join us tomorrow night for Clever Title Pending with Meredith Logren and myself at 8 p.m. And as always, folks, stay smart, stay safe, wash your hands, and never apologize for being awesome. Happy birthday, Michaela Jade. Everyone have a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow night on Clever Title Pending and Friday on a new Nevermind the Furthermore. Have a great Wednesday, everyone.
Thank you for tuning in to Nevermind the Furthermore, a Rising Tide Publications and Brian K. Morris production. Member of the Comic Book Advocating Network and sponsored by GeekInsider.com. Become part of our show with sponsorship and advertising opportunities. For details, contact advertising at GeekInsider.com or visit podcast.geekinsider.com. The Geek Insider podcast is available on your favorite app, so please hit the follow button and share it out to your friends, because if you don't, you might have to turn in your geek card.
From author Brian K. Morris comes an epic tale of armor forged by a god. A hero forged by courage, and an ancient menace poised to re-emerge and threaten our world. Volcana, Rebirth of the Champion, is available on Amazon.com. Get your copy today.
Reels and Heels is a podcast that discusses movies, television, wrestling, and more. With a rotating guest list of friends and filmmakers alike, Reels and Heels salutes the creative arts of all kinds. Join Brian Wenzeloff and Nicole Jobin live every Saturday at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Reels and Heels.
Choose high-flying action. Choose death-defying escapes. Choose spine-tingling thrills. Choose nail-biting intrigue. Now's your chance to choose the adventure. The Captain Hawkland Adventures. Available on Amazon.com.
Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Also catch us on the HWWS Web TV YouTube channel. Subscribe today and become part of the legend.